Ross, you just led the ACA mid-year update. Number of topics. One thing that you touched upon was your proposal for reallocating the C-Band. Do you want to touch upon that? We'll have a conversation.
Sure, yeah. ACA Connects, along with Charter and the Competitive Carriers Association, representing small rural wireless companies, put in a plan to the FCC to help it reallocate a portion of the C-Band for 5G uses. The FCC is looking to do that because in order to promote the 5G deployment across the country, existing proposals had only gone up to 200 megahertz, and ACA Connects had offered a proposal to free up 370 of the 500 megahertz. The way we propose doing it is by transitioning the cable operators' use of the C-Band for receiving video, and instead to get that video via fiber. We think it could be done in a cost-effective way, that could be done in a transparent way for the reallocation to parties interested in purchasing it, as well as create new jobs, provide benefits to rural America because of the fiber deployment, and tens of millions of dollars in proceeds to the U.S. Treasury.
And that's really cool because I think the aspects that were missing before was the dollars to the Treasury, but then also getting more fiber out to rural America.
Look, policymakers right now are concerned about two things in telecom: the promotion of 5G and the deployment of fiber and broadband into rural America. What we've proposed is a way to do both things. That's why we call it the 5G Plus plan. And we think it's a very attractive approach for the FCC to take. And because of the money for that fiber deployment comes out of the proceeds from an auction for the 5G, it doesn't mean any additional money is taken out from U.S. taxpayers or assessed on consumers' bills.
And from a spectrum standpoint, how do you see it being distributed as far as, it's going to be big blocks, or is it going to be made available, kind of for smaller operators as well?
Yeah, the details of the auction still need to be worked out. What's most important for us is that it's a public auction, whether or not it's a standard auction or an incentive auction. It stands in stark contrast to what the other proposal by satellite industry is proposing, where they would do a private sale. So they would be able to set the terms and conditions for who they sell it to and how they sell it to. In fact, they want to keep all the proceeds for themselves and go to their shareholders. So what we think is important is that in order for there to be as much competition and as much spectrum being made over to as many people as possible, that the FCC run the auction for this for the reallocation.
That makes sense, because it is a public asset you're talking about, right?
Oh, absolutely. The satellite industries don't have an ownership stake in that spectrum, so the FCC does have the authority to consider new ways of using it, so that's in the public interest.
And so it sounds like it's active right now. If you want to get your comments in, now's the time to do it, right?
Yeah, the proceeding opened up last July, but the FCC chairman in July of this year said that he wants to close it out by the end of the year. ACA Connects put in its proposal, and the FCC just recently put out a public notice seeking comment on the 5G Plus plan. And so now's the time for people to kind of weigh in on this alternative plan, whether or not it's cable operators or others. And we think that we are well positioned for our plan to make it across the finish line.
Excellent. Well, Ross, thanks for the summary on this, and
thanks
good
a
luck
lot.
as it moves forward.
Appreciate it.